Hi girls, it's Miss Madesyn. So today we're going to learn a little bit about a specific woman in history. She was an artist, and she was an artist during the women's suffrage movement. So Nina Allender, she was an American artist who worked during the women's suffrage movement, and she popularized the Allender girl, who was like a youthful young woman that she would draw a lot of the time to show women in powerful positions. So before Allender, most depictions of suffragettes, which suffrage was the movement for women's right to vote, which wasn't granted until the 1920s. And suffragettes were women who supported women's rights to vote. So they were women who were fighting for the right to vote. So most depictions of women who were fighting for the right to vote for suffragettes were unflattering and mean, and they were kind of making fun of them. Allender depicted suffragettes as smart, capable, and pretty, so the Allender girl became a symbol of power for women across the United States. So to follow along with our lesson today, I'm going to have a photo of an Allender girl along with the video so that you can see what she kind of looks like, but we're actually going to make our own Quill Pen, which is what was used to illustrate these. So to do this with us today, all you're going to need is your paint, and it can be any kind of paint. You just need paint. I'm using tempera, but you can use watercolor. You're going to need a cup of water, which is what you're going to use to make your ink. You're going to need a straw, you're going to need some scissors, and you're going to need some paper, and I'm of course just going to use a sketchbook. So let me get to a blank page, and the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take your paint and your water, and you're going to want to put a couple of drops in your cup. The more paint that you add, the richer or darker the color is going to be. So if you want like a really light color, don't add a lot of paint. If you want a really dark color, add a pretty good amount of paint. I'm only going to add a couple drops. And I'm going to stir that in so it's not just sitting at the bottom. Okay. Then you have your ink. So I'm going to wipe this off really quick. I have a napkin over here. So what you're going to want to do with your straw is you're going to want to cut it at an angle, and I'm going to get really close so that you can see how I'm going to cut it. And this was a bendy straw. I just cut the bendy part off of it so that it's stuck straight. You don't have to, you can leave it on, but it bothers me when I'm trying to write with it, so I cut my bendy part off of my straw. And you're just going to want to pinch it right here. Be careful not to cut your finger. And cut it like that. So at an angle like that. And then you're going to take your quill straw and you're going to dip it in your ink. And then you're actually going to just move it across the paper. Like this. And that's how you can kind of make your own little quill pen. If you need your ink to be thicker, because mine's a little bit runny, use less water and use more paint. But that's how you make like a makeshift quill pen. And what we're going to use the quill pen for is, I actually want you all to pick somebody in your life that you think represents a positive change. So the Allender girl stood for women voting, and she was capable and smart, and she could do it. So I want you to think of a girl in your life. It can be in your community, in your family, it can be one of your friends at school, but someone that you think really pushes for change. And I want you to draw them, and you can do a portrait of their face, you could do a stick figure if you just want to do a stick figure, or you could, draw them standing, whatever you want to do. You just need to draw them in some way, and I want you to tell me why you think they represent change in your community. So just a quick example for mine. I drew just a girl because I think the people that always at least inspire me to make a change in my community are you all. So all of the girls at Girls Inc., you guys make me want to make a change, and you make me want to make a difference. So you're my representative of what represents change in my community. If you made a representative for change, I want you to let us see those if you want to send those to us, or give them to the person that you drew. So if you drew your mom or if you drew your teacher, I'm sure they would love to have this. They would love to see it. And there are just a couple of questions I have for you all. So the first one is, I want to know if you can remember what a suffragette is. So I'll give you a little bit to kind of think about it. Okay, so a suffragette is a woman who fought for the right to vote, and they worked very hard to fight for the right to vote, like Nina Allender. She was considered a suffragette. And my second question for you all is just how does the person that you chose represent change? So if you chose your mom or if you chose a teacher, how do they represent change to you? And what does that change mean to you? So that's just what I want to know from you all. I hope you enjoyed our little activity. Make sure you dump out your paint water and throw away your straw, or keep it if you want to keep the quill. Yeah, bye!